a while back, somebody raised the subject about one of my favorite subjects, the roundabouts, and better signage. And that still continues to be a problem. I go around that thing frequently, and folks coming from Mesquite Boulevard that way, that'd be south of Mesquite Boulevard, they don't yield very often. I'm wondering, maybe stop signs instead of yield signs would be of better benefit. Now, I don't know if anything's been ever proven one way or the other, but some of these yield signs aren't working.
I'm going to ask Bill Tam to address that. I'm not sure that we can put up a stop sign there based on the transportation. But let's have Bill come forward, and he might be able to address this better than I can.
It's good. Okay. Sorry about that. The roundabouts are under the Nevada Department of Transportation's right-of-way. They are in control of the actual roundabout. So there's a right-of-way line as you're going down Mesquite Boulevard and as you turn onto Falcon Ridge. All of that is NDOT right-of-way. NDOT in January we had a couple of complaints. We forwarded them to Adam Tercey at NDOT. He responded with a letter. I have that to provide to you. That NDOT has thoroughly went through the roundabout specifications and they've identified the signage that's there. And in their mind, any additional signage is putting them at liability for traffic. So some people suggested stop signs instead of yield signs. That's not how the roundabout was designed. It was designed for yield signs. If people follow the signage that's there, then in NDOT's eyes, everything is signed and appropriate. Speed limit signs, they've got some provisions out there that show the speed limit coming into it and what the laws are as you go through. I can provide anyone a copy of that letter. We can even put it on the Public Works website. That letter then has several sites that you can go through and look up the roundabout information. A lot of the information is a lack of knowledge of roundabouts. And I was as guilty as anybody. I had to sit and read the specifications on that so I knew how to go through those roundabouts legally. There's just a lot of information out on them, and NDOT has addressed that and provided a letter that there really isn't anything that they're going to change on that because it meets their specifications. And changing things will increase a liability in some other area. So that's what it is. And I can provide any of that information for you. If you go to our Public Works website, there's also some roundabout information on there, I believe, that will direct you to websites on NDOT's, RTC's, and the Federal Highway Administration. All of those have specifications.
Councilman Robson would like to...
I just have a question, Bill. The signage I get, at some point coming in to the yield, I go through that thing every single day, and I've got my dogs going for a walk, and I see people flying down, and I wonder if they're going to stop, and I am actually starting to stop. So I do understand the issue, and I understand that we don't totally get it. How about like rumble strips or something that leading into the yields that would alert somebody to this is not a full, they have in Colorado. I grew up in rural California, and they had these little wavy lines where when it got real foggy, it told you you're coming up on a stop sign. Just something that goes, whoop.
Well, and I can bring that back up with you.
That's not signage. I mean, it's just
obviously I wouldn't want to go out there and spend, city's funds to do that because it is NDOT right away.
Any accidents?
Let's see. Do you remember when I sent that email, Andy? We did it. I did go back and check on accidents, and there have been, I believe, 13 accidents since the roundabouts have been put in place. Of those 13, what NDOT indicated to us in the design of that was you're going to have a few accidents. They are going to be non-critical accidents because you're not going to have T-bones. You're not going to have intersections where people run bikes. So what you have is fender benders and people bumping into each other. And if someone doesn't yield, then they would run into someone. Of the 13 accidents, there was none with injuries. So I'm not sure, I'd have to check again, but from the time the roundabout opened until January 1st, we had 13 accidents, fender benders, no injuries. What NDOT did ask is, at the end of this year, evaluate that on a year-to-year basis and try to see if our accidents are coming down. And they suspect what they've seen historically is roundabouts, when they're first installed, people have to get used to them. After a few years, them accidents will go down, and they're less severe than the regular intersections. So we've had a lot of concern. We've addressed them with NDOT, and they have responded. Some things that happen in Mesquite is the city is a lot more responsive to complaints than the Nevada Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration. If those things happen on the city of Mesquite, I will evaluate them and see, and that's what Councilman Rapson was talking about. But in their mind, they're not probably going to do anything in their right of way